Hey everyone, I'm Hallease Beast, a digital storyteller and video producer. Is my hair like...
I think your hair's wonderful the way it is.
Oh, do you?
I do. It is not scratchy. Not anymore. Need to get off that. And I'm Mr. Hallease. You know what? I just really like cooking.
This is the Beast Cast, your favorite aunt and uncle talking about married life and things like such as...
Roll the music.
All right, y'all, so...
Let me preempt it.
Oh, okay.
You told me first. That's
Did
my
I?
defense.
That's your defense?
That's years ago. You told me first. Now let's get into it. Now that the people know the truth.
Okay. So the other day, there I was, standing naked in front of the mirror, looking at myself,
Glorious.
thinking, I maybe have put on a pound or two. And, you know, to be fair, I walked right into it. You know what I mean? To be fair. But I said to Mr. Hallease, do you think I'm getting pudgy? And then he said, yes. And thus began our great demise.
End of story. So years ago, back before the time of dinosaurs, when terrible lizards walked the earth, we had a discussion where we said, oh, if you think that either one of us is getting heavier or getting to the point where we're getting out of shape and not being attractive anymore, that you'll let us know.
Yeah.
And we both signed this blood compact. Or is it compact?
Covenant.
Blood
covenant.
Blood, yes. It was like spit blood, whatever. Shake hands.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we will do this to be fair to one another. Because that's what love is. It's about fairness.
Okay.
Fast forward. Probably 4 or 5 years into the marriage. And I was a little chunkster. Not as bad as when you first met me.
When I first met you, you were a twig.
Okay, like a couple months into the relationship where I
Yeah.
gained the weight back.
Yeah, when I was feeding you. You weren't eating.
Ribs.
You weren't eating.
I just wasn't eating well.
Yeah.
But
But yeah,
anyway,
you had gained some weight, yes.
I had gained some weight and just unprovoked, y'all. Like, I didn't walk into it. I was leisurely strolling into the bedroom. And you said, oh, you packing on a little bit of weight. You're getting a little heavy. Heavy. Pudgy is like, that's like putting it lightly, right? She said, heavy. You getting a little heavy. And then I looked down, because I had been kind of noticing it for a while. And then I looked down, and yeah, it's like the full shame set in. It's like, oh my God. And it's the same questions that you had too. How long have I been heavy?
Yeah.
How long has it been going on for? Why didn't you tell me?
Yeah, when I asked Mr. Hallease this while I was standing there, and he was like, yes, you have. I was like, how long has this been happening? Like, it was like a flood of questions that I had.
Why didn't you tell me when it first started? It's like, I don't know. I don't know when the first like adipose cells are starting to like swell and like multiply. I don't know. Can't just put a little detector and it's like beep beep. Oh, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what the point of this episode is.
The point of the episode is, does like the truth hurts, right?
Right.
Is it worse to know the truth and be told the truth? Oh man, is that what it was?
Yeah, that's
is the truth itself worse than like not knowing? Are you better off not knowing the truth in the relationship?
Yeah, does knowing the truth hurt more in the long run? And I don't know. Because I feel like I can think of an instance where knowing the truth probably wouldn't be that great or necessary, really, you know? But I don't know, maybe the truth always is good to... I mean, I would rather know that I'm not that I'm getting pudgy and fix it, because that's something that's very fixable. So after I was like shamed or whatever and hurt, which again I walked right into that. I'm just making fun of you. It's fine. It's like now I'm just like working out more.
Yeah, and then after you told me, guess who started running again?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
I'd rather know. It's just.
Would you rather know?
Yeah, I mean, I wish you would know when it first started getting, like, at the beginning of the period. Mm-hmm. Like, we made a joke about that, but I really do wish. It's like, oh, well, you're starting to not look as attractive. Mm-hmm. So we should do something about that. You should do something about that.
Is it on the other person to do something about that, though?
No, I guess you just get complacent.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is the body that I have. Just scrolling by. And then it's like, oh, hey there, Twiggy Calf.
Twiggy Calf?
Yeah, it's like, or like, hey there, Mr. Reaper. I clearly can't come up with bad names, but hey there, Mr. No Calves. And you're like, oh, what do you mean no calves? It's like, yeah, you ain't got no calves. What? It's fun. It's fun. It's cute. This is me being playful. And I'm like, no. Like instantly, I have like dress socks pulled up and like pants on. And he's like, what do you mean? You don't have to take it that way. And it's like, what way? What are you talking about? And so I'm like, wearing 4 pairs of pants to cover up the shame.
As I've gotten older, I've gained more weight, right? Which is part of like living life or whatever. Right? Because when you're in your teenage years, at least for me anyway, I was super lean. It's like a little skinny twig thing. Yeah. So were you. Mm-hmm. And then thankfully I like blossomed into more of a woman by the time I was in my mid-20s, I guess.
Blood-ow.
Yeah. Like
with that booty.
And this is we're both coming at this. Obviously, we both realize that, like in the grand scheme of things, neither of us are pudgy. But
I hold weight in my midsection. Anyway, go ahead.
You do, but remember we talked about this where it was about language, where you would say like, "Oh man, I'm getting fat," and I was like, I mean, that's subjective. Really.
Well, so let's talk about that.
Okay.
So I felt like you were talking, can I mention that? Like you were talking to your sister?
Yeah.
And you said that you were trying to lose a little bit of weight or that you were pudgy.
Yeah, if y'all, there was an IG stories where I was trying to pop some packing bubbles and I couldn't pop them. And then Antoinette was like, oh, you need to, she was like, gain some weight or something. And I was like, no, I'm trying to lose weight. Because this was post being called pudgy.
The pudgeoning.
The great pudgeoning. And then Antoinette was like, are you serious right now? And I quickly adjusted my language to say, and flipped that and said, oh, I'm trying to get more fit or like more, I think I said like more fit, have more muscle.
And then that triggered me because later, either that night or the next day, I said, "Oh, it was that same day." I said, "Yeah, I mean, I hate when people kind of brush aside that when you say, "Oh, I need to lose some weight or something," and they're like, "What weight? Where are you even holding weight?"
Yeah, but I totally understand where people come from with that because, like, my sister, for example, she's I always characterize her as an Amazonian. She's tall. She's very curvaceous. She has a lot of hips. All of that. Gaining weight is going to have a different impact on her than it is on someone like me who's very petite and has a smaller frame. So while I do want to lose weight, when I'm around her and I'm talking about health or fitness or anything like that, I definitely adjust the language because at the same time, like me gaining 5 pounds is not the same reality for her. So for me, it's like, instead of saying, oh, I'm trying to lose weight, I say things like, oh, I'm trying to get more fit, or I'm trying to build muscle mass, or I'm trying to, just shift. And I think the same thing can be said for you in regards to that as well. Because it's like, you're a relatively tall, leaner guy.
I'm not even that tall.
In general. And so when you say something like, oh, I'm getting pudgy, because even to me, I hear that. You're like, I mean, I hold weight around my midsection. It's like love.
I would wait.
Stop.
So, right. But so then you did get me to adjust my way of thinking, because I was like, oh yeah, if I told somebody that I need to lose weight, they're like, where are you even holding weight? But if I tell them, oh no, I'm trying to get more muscle mass, and they're like, oh yeah, you need that. It's just like, oh, you could see that up here. Mm-hmm. But since the midsection is not super visible, then that's fine. Like it's whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
about language, for sure. Okay, thanks, love. Hey everyone, thanks so much for listening / watching this episode of the Beastcast. A few things. If you're watching here on YouTube, let the ads play. That really helps us out. Try not to click through them, but if you have to click through, we understand, because times are hard and ads are annoying.
Well put.
The second thing you can do, though, if the spirit moves you, check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Hallease. There you can support the Beastcast if you are so inclined. I also do Motivation Mondays, where I let people know about everything I'm producing and working on. So if you're interested in it, in the creative entrepreneurial life, you can check those out as well.
You can give as much or as little as you like. You can set a cap monthly. So if you just want to give $1 per month, that's awesome. Again, that pays for some of the coffee.
Exactly. So please consider checking us out on Patreon. And then finally, I think that's it, right?
We're also available on wherever your favorite podcasts can be gotten.
Yes.
So Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Google Podcasts, Stitcher. Like we're in a lot of different places. So wherever you're listening to us, please rate us wherever you are listening, because that helps us out as well. And also, if you want to get in contact with us directly, we love hearing from y'all. So send us a DM on Instagram, The Beastcast, @The Beastcast is the Instagram for the podcast. It's run by Mr. Hallease over here. Ish. And you can send us a DM about anything. So yeah, especially like topics you think we should do. So please do.
And otherwise, we just enjoy y'all being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for being part of her professional journey and our lives every other weekend or so.
Yeah.
Oh, you can also buy merch if you want to support us. Sorry, I'm gyrating and gesticulating like an idiot. I'm describing this for those of you listening on the podcast, but there's merch if you feel so inclined. It's available on
teespring.com/stores/Hallease.
It's a lot of slashes.
They're all necessary. So yeah, and I think we had a new Patreon producer, Erica. Thank you. Welcome.
Hey, thank you
to the Patreon production team. It's good to have you with us. And I think that's everything. Let's get back to the podcast. Bye.
Anyway, so like talking about the truth, hearing it, I think it's different when it's something that you could potentially modify as opposed to like a behavior, which is harder.
Oh.
Like the slurping of coffee. So coffee is hot, and so I try to slurp it. And I think that's a learned behavior from my father, because he would slurp coffee.
Yeah.
And
it's annoying when he does it too.
Well, and I thought that's how people drank coffee. I was slurp the coffee. And then recently, just being in the presence of you, you're like, oh, it's annoying. I was like, oh, okay.
It is, though.
That's fine. We talk about other things. You want to talk about things that are annoying? Let's talk about you yawning.
Me yawning?
Oh my God. Sorry, the coffee is like really popping right now. Yeah, I mean, it can, like you yawn in a very like specific pitch.
Oh.
And it's like not quite the sound of a plane going supersonic or breaking the speed of sound.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what words will Mr. Hallease use now to describe an aspect of me? Here we go.
No, it's
Hit us up, Charles Dickens.
When you bring that up, then it's like, oh man, but like that's how I am. I guess I'll modify that, because I don't want to like, so then you you get into the stage of being hurt. Mm-hmm. And so then it's like, okay, so do I reciprocate the hurt to make you feel hurt as well, so that we're both like bringing us both down?
Yeah.
Or do you not? Or do you just accept it and say, dang, all right, well, what is it specifically? Or, like, let me speak rationally about it, as opposed to, well, your butt is fat too.
Yeah.
Your butt looks like a whole sack full of peaches just got dropped. I don't know. I just thought of that. I don't know. I was like, why? Anyway.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it could easily. That's the hard thing about hearing the truth, is it can easily. There's giving someone the truth from a place of like love and understanding, and wanting them to be the best version of themselves, and then there's like a way of delivering the truth to somebody that can be very just damaging, and not constructive. And the hard thing is about finding that balance of like, am I truly telling them this in love, or am I potentially trying to, I don't know.
So what was it? Like I can't even remember what I got upset about, but you were mentioning something. It was with like Diego and Tiffany when we were there, and you were like describing something about me. And it was the time before that. I don't know. It's just like the way that you were describing me, it sounded more like a complaint, as opposed to, me just being playful. And so that just put me like in a bad place.
Yeah, and to me, I didn't hear it that way at all. If any, like, that's the thing too, because I remember when you brought it up later, I was like, I was taken aback, because I was just like, oh, I thought we were on the same page. Like, I thought I was just communicating. I wasn't trying to make you feel bad about anything. I was just saying, like, yeah, today's been a long day. You don't want to do anything tomorrow, do you? Good, I don't either.
Yeah, not to harp on the situation, but it almost sounded like it did sound like that, like 80s or 90s, machismo? Where it's like, oh yeah, women, right? It's just, they're slow to get ready, right? Can't live with them, can't live without them. It's like, there's other options. You could be asexual, you could be homosexual. Like, you don't have to be in that relationship if you feel that way about women. So that's how it was coming off of. It's just like, this guy. It's like, oh, this loving man, this crying, loving man.
Yeah, so it's like, but that's the thing. That's an interesting point, because to me, I don't hear it that way. When it leaves my mouth, I do not hear it in that tone. But the same can be said for the coughing stuff, which it took us a long time to figure out like where we were both communicating on that. It's like, oh, I'm talking about it because I'm concerned.
Oh, that's what it was. It was coughing.
Yes.
Where it's like, you cough all the time, like all the time, with the this and the clearing in the throat and like phlegmy. You're like, oh my gosh. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's actually stemming from my asthma, which limits my ability to breathe, which makes it feel like I'm drowning like a lot of the time. So yeah, that's a valid experience that you're kind of like making light of.
Yeah, and again, it's not that it. So with that,
such as.
So with that, it's interesting because with the whole coughing thing, I'm trying to sound light so I don't hurt you, but in the process of sounding light, it's still hurting you anyway. So there's like no way around it. But it's like I'm trying to voice my concern without, I don't even know how to say that, without like raising a lot of red flags, because I don't know if that's a flag to raise. I just don't know. And so I'm kind of like, yeah, you cough a lot, and it scares me. But if I say that, then that's like, why are you scared about somebody coughing? Chill,
Well, no, but I mean, so then part of that was education, and not to give everybody like a long-winded speech on this, but it's like, oh yeah, you have asthma and it's chronic asthma, and you're like dealing with it on a daily basis with medications and such. like there's escalations. So like if you're to the point where it's like, I really can't breathe and my medications aren't doing as much, cool. Doctor prescribed me a steroid pack. So like you start the steroid pack, that's not helping, cool. Well, now we need to escalate it to the doctor to get more medication. That way I don't go to the hospital and end up intubated. And so like speaking to my doctor, he's like, oh, you've never had to be admitted for your asthma? Like you've never had to be intubated or stay overnight or whatever? And it's like, no. And he's like, oh man, cool. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is good. But you don't necessarily know that.
Right.
You just see me like coughing and wheezing or whatever. It's like, no, whatever. This is turning into an interesting podcast.
How so?
Well, it's turning a little bit more into communication.
Yes. Because
marriage is like, it can very quickly escalate into a Cold War. Because it's like, so you go through experiences day to day, right? And it's like, oh yeah, the way that she does X, Y, and Z, it's a little annoying, but it's not enough for me to bring it up. Because like, there's nothing will be gained from that.
Right.
But you just kind of like cast it aside, but it's not thrown out. It's just like placed on this table for you to like recollect. And so then when you hear or you're put into this place of hurt by your partner, then again, you have the choice of either letting it go and being diplomatic about it or pressing the nuclear button. And then you like let loose one of the nukes and you're like, well, let me pick this up from the table and then like hit the nuke button.
Yeah.
And sit back and sip my tea.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, well, your butt looks like the dark side of the moon or something, like full of craters and stuff. Little gremlins popping out and like.
Can we just let everyone know that my butt does not look like peaches in a thingy or the dark side of the moon? Like, you're making all these analogies to butts.
Oh no, but it's not the way that your butt looks.
My butt.
Well, no. So at the beginning of the video, you said, "Oh yeah, and I blossomed," and I said, "Your booty went ba-bam," like in a good way.
My butt.
Your butt looks great.
Thank you.
It is like a peach, but like, I'm not going to get into that language. In a good way. Suggestive air quotes and nudge nudge.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
But so like if you were going to use something like that, it's like, oh yeah, well, like you've had a white nose hair hanging out your nose for a week now. And it's like, oh my God, I'm getting old. Like, and then my mortality is brought to my face. And
yeah.
And it's to look like a fool.
Just downward spiral from there. That isn't productive at all.
And it's like, do you need to go into that place of hurt, or can you just like both talk about it?
I think it's hard because. So the right thing to do, I think, is to talk about things that bother you about the person almost immediately.
That's a rational thing to do.
That was the rational thing.
Seldom the place that you always go, though.
Right.
Not you, but like people. Just people
right. But that is what you should do because it creates a level of friction that is necessary to move forward. And it's the right amount of friction. It's not too much. It's not too little. It's just enough for someone to adjust easily, because then you're not bringing up all the other things that are on the table. You're just it's just like, here's this one thing that's very simplistic. Poof.
Well, and you don't, because it's simplistic, you want to address it relatively soon. It doesn't have to be that same minute.
Right.
Because
then nobody wants to be like constantly being told like critique after critique after critique, But
it's like, man, you have a lot of pimples. It's like, okay. Oh man, and your back is hairy. Okay. Because eventually it's just like, you know what? That's just who I am. You're complaining about who I am.
Right. And so it's like, why are you with me?
Right.
Yeah. That's a scary conversation to have. Don't want to get into that conversation. I mean, unless you need to get into that conversation, maybe.
But it's like your skin, like you can clean it every day. And this is another thing that you brought up to me. Because otherwise you just get more and more buildup. Mm-hmm. It's like the pearl analogy from several episodes ago, but eventually it just turns into this big like pimple. And it's this big ugly thing that's painful. And then you both have to like address it.
Yeah.
And it takes time to get rid of.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You liking these medical references today?
Sure.
Maybe I do define myself as a nurse. Sorry, that's a tie-in to a previous episode.
So I guess my question then becomes, it's like, but what if there are things that you're trying to work through that are so big where they can't be addressed in one moment? Case in point, our relationship. Things that we're working through right now.
The romance.
The romance.
The truth hurts, but then it's, if you're segmenting it, and it's like, oh, this is painful, but like I'm trying to like shift it. Mm-hmm. And so then I don't have to directly address the pain or the issue. Whereas, okay, legitimately, something needs to change. And so somebody needs to focus on it. Somebody clearly, in our case, is more focused on it and thinks about it a lot more. And it's like, okay, so you can either do what you've done before and like deflect it, or let it hit you dead on and then try to bring it to your consciousness and address it. And I am trying to be more actionable about it. So I am trying to change. I'm trying to bring it to the forefront.
I don't know what the point of this episode is. Chris told me I'm pudgy. I don't know.
You know, I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I do think it is communication though, and like how you respond to negative communication, because it's not all bubblegum and rainbows, right?
Yeah, what do you used to say? Unicorn farts and butterfly. No, butterfly farts and unicorn
Kisses or something.
Kiss, giggles, stuffs.
I don't know. That's a stupid thing that I say. I'm surprised you remembered it.
People have commented it in the comment section of the video.
Oh, geez. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's not always positivity, you know? It's like people work through stuff. Whatever way that people present themselves on social media or Instagram or whatever, like there's always going to be a second part, right?
Right.
It's not the most flattering part, because I mean, a lot of the marriage is, you know, it's not romance all the time, like we've talked about before.
Right.
So a lot of it is work. A lot of it is like willing yourself to stay in this voluntary agreement or this voluntary relationship with this other person. So it's work.
For people listening, I'm just nodding continually through all of that.
Sounds like a confessional right now. I don't know why.
A little bit. I mean, in the comments. So, okay, yeah, let's wrap it up. In the comments below, let us know. Does the truth hurt? Would you rather know the truth about an issue right when it happens? Or are you the type that wants to let it maybe fester for a minute? And maybe you let it fester for communication, so you can just be like, I don't even know how I feel. I know I feel a certain type of way, but I don't know how I feel, so I'm just going to let it sit.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you're hitting nuclear bombs, you know. Who are you? Let us know in the comments below. If you're listening to this podcast, wherever you're listening, leave us a voicemail. Send us one via the Instagram account that Mr. Hallease manages on a whim. And
that's another thing that we talk about. You don't post on the social medias.
Well, you have to take ownership. Just take ownership of it, of the Instagram. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.